In this life, we all tend to overload on automation. One, two, three.
Hey, what's up out there? This is Ed, Joy, and Quinn coming to you loud from Maui. You know that. What's up, everybody? Yeah, I know I've been gone for a while. We skipped our release this past week because we had a crazy week. Crazy week. We had a reveal party for my daughter, and well, let me put it to you this way. When we put the balloon over Quinn's head and popped it, blue paint came out. So I guess I'm going to have a grandson. Congratulations, Quinn.
Thank you.
How do you feel, man?
Good, man. It'll be a total different experience, from a girl.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Opposites. Right?
Opposite. I got 3 boys, 2 girls. My 3 boys, they're quiet. The house is mellow when they're around. As soon as my 2 girls come in the house, craziness. So that's what you're headed for. Craziness. With a girl and a boy. It was a good party though. In fact, it was an awesome party. I was brought to tears because at the beginning, I was convinced it was another girl. And then my son, he brought up some points, about how she was carrying low. Her, when you crave stuff was different, was more salty and like sour stuff. Whereas with Ka'ihi was more sweet stuff. So he noticed those kind of things. So he was thinking, Dad, I think it's a boy. So, halfway through, I agreed with him, and thank God, because when that paint came out blue, I was like, whoa! Overcome with emotion, everyone. Overcome with emotion, and it's a good feeling. I trip out that you guys have reveal parties now, because back in the days when I was having, my kids, we didn't really know. You knew, but it wasn't perfected to it is now. Like they show you, it's a reveal party. Whereas back then it was a baby shower. I think, that's what we had. We had just had baby showers. So people always ask me, what is the number one present to bring for baby showers? I can tell you what the number one present not to bring, and that is baby clothes. Because most likely the baby won't wear that outfit. And if they do, it'll probably just wear them once, because within a month or two, they start growing so fast. To me, the number one present is diapers. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure.
For sure, right? Diapers. Diapers or milk, baby formula. That's the 2 main things, because all babies do is eat and doo-doo. Auntie Bumatai had a good piece, a good bit on that, on babies. All they do is eat and doo-doo. It was so funny. But, hey, it was exciting.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, Andy Bumatai. It was exciting and fun, and when that blue paint dropped all over you, what did you think when you saw the blue paint? Because I know you thought
I thought it was gonna be a girl.
A girl, right? Yeah.
I know, because I seen the balloon and I swear I seen red inside of it. I was like, oh, okay, girl.
Yeah,
that's
it's a
fine.
girl. Yeah.
I know, and then I was pretty surprised.
Yeah, they got a black balloon, and they filled it with blue paint, or whatever the gender is, they filled it up with, and in this case it was blue. And yeah, I didn't even know. So when they popped that thing and just blue paint came out all over you, I was like, what? It was cool. Anyway, hey everybody, we just wanted to bring that up because it was an exciting week, and that was our excuse of why we didn't come out with this episode 13 earlier. But hey, we are here now. And we're going to make this one a fun one, because the last episode, I was listening to it and I sounded a little bit upset, and I was upset. I was irate with the situation, the fires in Lahaina, the hurricane, a lot of anxiety. So I figured we'd make this podcast a fun one. And we're going to go back into the entertainment. So this podcast, episode 13, Entertainment Tonight. That's what it's all about. And remember, guys, when I was talking about it, I believe it was episode 9, I was going into drive-ins. So let's continue it from there. Drive-ins, everybody. We don't have drive-ins anymore. When I was a kid, drive-ins was the thing. And I know MCC, the community college down here, they tried having some showings, some drive-in showings, which was actually quite popular. Older movies, you drive in, you tune in your radio to the station that they have broadcasted, and then the sound comes through the radio, and you can watch a big, huge movie on a big screen in the comfort of your car with your radio. And those days, back in the days when I was going to drive-ins, before they started getting into putting it on the radio, they had these big silver boxes that was up on little metal posts that you pulled up and parked next to at the drive-in. So once you got into the drive-in, you drove your car in, you paid a flat fee for your car, and you drove up to this metal post that had these little metal speaker boxes that you either hung on your window or just hung in your door. And then you just turned that on. That was your sound for the movie. Now, again, back in the day, the sound wasn't all that great, but at least it was, a drive-in. You're out under the stars, watching a movie. I remember just putting a blanket on the hood of my car, and me and my brother would go out there, sit on the hood of the car, lean against the windshield with our popcorn, with our pizza, and watch this movie under the stars. My mom and dad would have a beach chair on the side of the car, and we'd have such a good time. The drive-in theaters, especially for all you millennials out there who don't know what I'm talking about, to drive your car up in there and watch a movie and just experience the whole outside, under the stars. I think the Maui Film Fest, they do that down at the Wailea golf course. They have, a night under the stars, which is similar. You set up your blanket, you sit on the grass under the stars, you enjoy the movie. Everyone's walking around and getting food. There's smell of food in the air. I remember at the drive-in, the food area, or the snack bar, as you would, was located in the middle of the drive-in. So you'd walk from your car to this building in the middle of the drive-in, which they had popcorn, pizza, and all that in there. The bathrooms was in there. In fact, they had a little playground for kids to swing, go on the swings, on the slide. You guys ever watch Grease? Well, that whole part when he's singing about Sandy, that whole thing, that's how it was like. And you'd watch a movie in your car. It was a fun thing. So let me get into some movies that I watched as a kid and I remember till today, because they never just showed one movie. They'd show double features, even triple features sometime. Sometimes they'd start at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, start showing the movie, and they'd be done playing the movie at like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. So they'd show like 2-3 movies. And their mixture of movies was really funny because sometimes they would show like, for example, I remember watching Jaws 2 and Empire Strikes Back. So they freak you out with the ocean at first, and then they take you into space. You know what I mean? And show you a Star Wars movie. The main reason why I was there is to watch Empire Strikes Back, not Jaws 2. But then, of course, they would show Jaws 2 first. So we'd have to sit through that first, which I actually enjoyed too. I liked Jaws 1 and 2. And if you guys remember me talking about Jaws, I couldn't even swim in a swimming pool without hearing that theme song of a shark coming after me. But I mean, isn't that mix-up funny? They even had The Big Brawl, which was Jackie Chan's first feature film in America as him as a star. He was already a Chinese superstar, just like Bruce Lee. So he made this movie called The Big Brawl. And I remember he had to fight against this wrestler, this American wrestler. I think they called him the Kisser. Because before he killed the guy, by giving him a bear hug and crushing his body, he'd kiss him on the lips. Yeah, so, and Jackie Chan was in that. It was called The Big Brawl. And that was an opening movie for Enter the Dragon, which was one of Bruce Lee's biggest American hits, his first and his last, because unfortunately he passed away right after. But I remember watching Enter the Dragon as a kid. And, I can say that Enter the Dragon has the best beginning of all the Kung Fu movies that I've seen so far. Enter the Dragon, they have that guitar, that guitar, ding, 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 ding. And now, while this song is playing, this 70s rock guitar music, musical introduction, they show Jim Kelly, who's also a black martial artist superstar at the time, Jim Kelly, walking through the streets of China and finding his way to the boat that they're going to go on to go to this island. And I remember just watching that beginning of that show, of that movie, excuse me, with that beginning, ding, 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 ding. Oh man, used to give me goosebumps as a kid. And till today, my grandma, God bless her, who is 95, she's going to be 96 in about a week. And she watches Enter the Dragon. That's one of her favorite movies. Every time when I see her, on the weekends, I visit her Friday or Saturday every week. And she always asks me, hey, what movie you got? And I said, Enter the Dragon, Grandma. And she's like, put it on. And as soon as that beginning comes on, she's like, oh, the music is good. In her 90s, she knows what's good. Bruce Lee, man, live on forever. Like I said, best beginning with Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly also, man, he did some quotes in that movie that, that you cannot forget. Like the part when those guys come in after him and that guy Han is accusing him of attacking his guards that night when it wasn't him, it was Bruce Lee. And what does he tell him? Man, you come right out of a comic book. That saying right there. Bullshit, Mr. Handman. Suddenly I like to leave your island. Oh man, Jim Kelly, he was awesome. And John Saxon, my grandma, she's old, so she gets confused. So she always confuses John Saxon with Bruce Lee. She's like, ooh, that guy right there, that's Bruce Lee, he's handsome. I'm like, oh no, grandma, that's not Bruce Lee, that's John Saxon. So, hey, but it's all good, right? But then from Enter the Dragon, I remember they came up with other, parodies or, other funny movies from that, such as The Last Dragon. Remember that one? Which is about a Harlem kid, a black guy who studied Bruce Lee from his Enter the Dragon movies and studied the ways of the dragon. And he got the power of the glow.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
You never saw that movie, The Last Dragon? Mm-mm. With the guy, Shonuff of Harlem. Remember the bad guy? Who's the best? Shonuff. I can't hear you. Shonuff. And then he comes up and he takes off his glasses, his shades, and he's like, Shonuff of Harlem. You never saw that?
Never seen
that. The Last Dragon. I think that was with Vanity. I think she was on there. Vanity. She used to be on. She was on Purple Rain, or was it Apollonia? No, I think it was Vanity. Yeah, she was. She used to be with Prince, and so yeah, she was like the musical star that that Bruce Leroy, that's that boy, had to protect. Anyway, The Last Dragon. I remember that movie. That was another 80s movie. But hey, back to the drive-ins, man. I remember watching Herbie the Love Bug. All right, get this. Herbie the Love Bug with like a 007 James Bond movie. With Sean Connery. Of course, at this time, they played the Herbie the Love Bug or the Herbie movie first, and then they showed the 007 movie after, thinking that maybe the kids would be sleeping by that time. But I was wide awake, man. There's a couple times I had to close my eyes. My mom was like, close your eyes. Don't watch this part. Because, Sean Connery. Oh, yeah. Sean Connery. He was a slick guy. Always taking them girls' clothes off. And they had funny names, like Octopussy. That was true. So, Michael Myers with his Austin Powers thing, those names, those funky names for girls, like, Octopussy and that kind of names, was real. They did have those. So anyway, good times. I also remember watching The Outsiders at the drive-in. And that opening scene with Matt Dillon and C. Thomas Howell and Ralph Macchio, that opening scene with, where they're standing on the corner to that song Gloria from Morrison, Jim Morrison, I think it was. And Gloria, G-L-O-R-I-A. And they, they're just a couple of hoods. And lo and behold, guess what they end up walking up to at that night on the movie is a drive-in. they end up sneaking into a drive-in underneath a fence that evening in the movie, and just such a good movie, man. And that movie too, Matt Dillon, sorry, he came out with some quotes that became popular, and even C. Thomas Howell, "Stay Gold," and then Johnny Ralph Macchio, "Stay gold, pony boy." Remember that one? "Stay gold." Then Stevie Wonder would come in. "Seize upon a moment long ago, one step away, and then it will be." Oh, good movie, man. Francis Ford Coppola. Yeah. Matt Dillon. He did The Outsiders. He did Rumblefish. That was a good one. Drugstore Cowboy or something like that. He did a couple of good movies, man, Matt Dillon. He was in this one movie where his name was Moody, this character named Moody, and he was a bully in this movie called The Bodyguard, or My Bodyguard, something like that. And it was about this kid who was getting picked on by Matt Dillon, and this kid hired a bodyguard, this other boy, to help protect him from Matt Dillon at the school. And then Matt Dillon gets this other guy to beat up his bodyguard, and oh man, it's a cool movie. Matt Dillon, that's when he came up with the phrase, "Hey, no applause, everybody, just money." Yeah, he was smooth. And then he came out with that movie You, Me, and Dupree with Owen Wilson, and that was a funny movie. And then just recently he did a movie, a horror movie, 2018 horror movie called House That Jack Built. And I was looking at that. The house that Jack built looks freaking crazy. He's supposed to be a psycho serial killer, and yeah, it looks like a crazy movie. One of those horror thriller type, keep you on the edge of your seat. Yeah, so hey, Matt Dillon, I remember he dominated back in the days with his movies. He was smooth. He had that "Hey, Johnny," "We'll do it for Johnny, man. We'll do it for Johnny. Hey, if there's going to be a rumble, there ain't going to be no rumble without me." And then Patrick Swayze was on that crew? Yeah, The Outsiders. Tom Cruise. Remember Tom Cruise as Steve? He had that irritating high voice and that high laugh. Oh, I like Tom Cruise. I'm a big Tom Cruise fan. But in The Outsiders, when he's doing Steve, and he had that laugh, that's how he sounded, I swear. "Ain't nobody gonna call the fuzz in this place, because they know better." Yeah, that was him. Rob Lowe, he was Soda Pop. Yeah, big Outsiders fan. How you doing? Am I talking your ear off, Quinn? You're just smiling because I know you didn't hear any of these movies before, huh?
I just don't have I can't keep up with you on the info with these.
Oh, on the movie?
But is My Bodyguard.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
My Bodyguard.
My Bodyguard. Yeah.
And then what was I don't know what the new movie you were talking about.
The House That Jack Built.
Oh,
That's his newest movie that just came out, and he's supposed to be playing some psychotic killer. Yeah, he was good, man. He was good. The part when spoiler alert, but if you haven't seen Outsiders already, this movie's like 30 years old. When he dies at the end, because he aims a unloaded pistol at the cops. They're chasing him at the end of The Outsiders, and he just aims the gun at them because he's tired of living, and they blast him. The cops shoot him, and he ends up rolling down that hill. And then, man, just that was a heavy scene. I remember being a kid going, "No, they killed Dallas. Can't believe they killed Dallas." Oh, yeah. I'm bringing up the 80s a lot because I love the 80s. They have it on MTV. I watch it on MTV. I love the 80s. And they have music like from Stevie Winwood when he was with Tina Turner. Remember that song, Higher Love? Bring me a higher love. Whoa. That's a good song, man. Tina Turner used to rock. She did duets with Bryan Adams. That one song, It's Only Love. You ever heard that song? No?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Only Love. Tina Turner, she was on a few movies, and one of her top movies back then was Beyond Thunderdome with Mel Gibson. those what do you call Mad Max, the Mad Max trilogy. I think that was part 3. Yeah, I think it was Mad Max Part 3. Beyond Thunderdome. Of all the Mad Max movies, that was one of my favorites. Number 2 and number 3. Those two was, of course, you can't take away from Tom Hardy in the last one, Fury Road. But yeah, from the Mel Gibson ones, those two was top rank. And Tina Turner was a good bad guy for a woman. You know what I mean? In apocalyptic times, you have a woman bad guy. That's furious, man. That is Fury Road right there, huh? Huh? Am I moving too fast for you, man? Also, they also had other, good music. I love the 80s, MTV. George Michael, he was with Patti LaBelle. Did that duet. That was a strong one. I knew you were waiting. Yeah? No? You don't remember that one?
I don't remember, yeah.
Oh, and Aretha Franklin, God bless her. She left us, I think, about a month ago or maybe 3 weeks ago. Aretha Franklin passed away from cancer. I hate cancer. I'm going to swear. Quinn, I'm going to swear. I'm going to say the F word. Here it comes. Fuck cancer. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. And you can actually, quote me on that one. Fuck that cancer. Before it was fuck HIV, fuck AIDS, but they got something for that now. They got to get something for cancer, which I think they probably do. Yeah? It's good health. It's being as best health as you can, staying on it with your diet, exercise. Whatever. Find a cure, people. I know you can. I know you do. What is this? Population control? Right?
We don't want to get too deep.
Yeah, let's not get too deep. Let's get back to the music and the movies. Aretha Franklin.
We're keeping it happy.
We love you here, Aretha. Aretha Franklin. Everybody look it up right now. Blues Brothers. The scene where she's in a restaurant and she's telling her boyfriend, you better think. You better think about what you're trying to do to me. That's such a good song. A good scene. John Belushi. You got Dan Aykroyd when he was 6'1" and maybe 120 pounds. That was before he shrunk down to 5'8" and gained 80 pounds. Is that possible? He seemed taller back then. I don't know why. When he was in Ghostbusters and then he started going in these other movies that is nowadays, he looked like he shrunk and he got fatter. I still like him though. I still love Dan. He's still awesome. Yeah, you better think. You better think of what you're trying to do to me. You better think. Oh, women out there, you know that song. You probably want to sing that song to your husband right now. Or your boyfriend. Oh, man. Hey, another movie that came out in the 80s, which I love. And because we're talking about him, Ralph Macchio from The Outsiders. He was in Crossroads. Remember that movie, Quinn? You ever heard of that one? Crossroads?
I don't think I remember.
Oh, yeah. He was in a movie called Crossroads where he challenged the devil to a guitar off. And he made a deal with the devil, basically. And if he could beat the devil, you know what I mean? That old beat the devil, outplay the devil kind of thing, then he could win his soul back. Or the soul of his friend. I believe it was maybe his friend that taught him how to play the blues. The devil was Steve Vai. Steve Vai played the devil. And Ralph Macchio, he did a pretty good job pretending like he knew how to play the guitar, but I think the guitarist was like R.Y. Cooter or someone like that. Someone who just rips. Quinn, try to look it up. Crossroads. Ralph Macchio, Crossroads. Who played his guitar? I think it was R.Y. Cooter or Ray Cooter or something like that. I'm just guessing. So while you look that up, let's get into Karate Kid. Another Ralph Macchio movie. He went from The Outsiders to Crossroads to the Karate Kid. And was it? Yeah, R.Y. Cooter. R.Y. Cooter. Yeah.
Rye. How do you pronounce it?
Rye.
That's a nuts name. Man.
Rye Cooter.
Rye.
And Steve Cropper? Steve Cropper and Eric Clapton. Wow. Wow, that's cool. That's cool, man. So much good guitars was on that movie. It's one of my favorites too. A lot of people don't know that movie because Karate Kid just overshadowed pretty much anything Ralph Macchio did. You know what I'm saying? When he did Karate Kid, that blew him up into a different stratosphere at that time. And then they came out with Karate Kid 2. And then after Karate Kid 2, it went to shit. Karate Kid 3 was all right. But when Hilary Swank stepped in, forget it. $1 Million Baby,
It's all about the money.
It was all about the money after that. But you know what? They came up with Cobra Kai on YouTube just this past year. I loved it, man. I loved it. It brought back everything from Karate Kid. They took it from when Johnny got that crane kick in the tournament, the crane kick to the nose, bang, and he falls on the ground, on the mat, and you can hear them announcing, Daniel LaRusso is the winner in the background. Then it crossfades to Johnny like 30 years later on the floor in his living room, drunk off his ass. And that's how the whole TV show opens up.
Really? Oh,
yeah, that's season 1. It opens up with season 1. And what a season, because it just shows Johnny's side of the story. And when he's explaining it, it kind of makes sense, you know? In the beginning, he's like, you know what? I was trying to get back with my girl, and this new kid comes in, and he takes her away from me. And that's true, he did. And then when I try to talk to her at the beach, this guy false cracked me, which he did. Daniel hit him first. All he did was trip Daniel when Daniel was going after him. He just tripped him. And then Daniel punched him in the face when he walked up to him to talk to him. You know what I'm saying? And then he says another scene, which is so true. He's like, you know, and then one Halloween, I was just rolling a joint in the bathroom stall, and he dumps water on my head. And it's like, oh yeah, that's true. He did do that. The jerk. So you end up changing sides, man. You end up thinking about Johnny like, fuck, this whole time, I didn't like Johnny. I thought he was a jerk. But after you see Cobra Kai, I swear you'd want to be a Cobra Kai. You know what I'm saying? And the cool thing is he takes all the nerds, all the poor kids that's being picked on, and he trains them to become karate, lethal weapons. If you haven't seen it yet, I advise you to go out to YouTube or RedTube, I think it is, on RedTube.
I don't know about RedTube.
Oh. Wait, is that a porn site? You're looking at me.
What are you doing?
You're looking at me with your eyes all wide and glazed. What, is that a porno site, man? I think it is
Let's
RedTube.
look it up right now.
I think it is RedTube. It has to be. Oh yeah, if it's not RedTube, guys, and it's a porno site, I apologize. Maybe that one's not. Maybe that's the wrong kind of serpent. That's the wrong kind of serpent, you know. Wrong kind of snake.
For later.
Wrong kind of cobra we're talking about there. The YouTube one is Cobra Kai, and then that RedTube one is Cobra Spit in My Eye.
Stop.
Okay. All right. Well, if it's not RedTube, again, I apologize. The Last Starfighter. How many of you people out there know what movie that is? To me, when I was a kid, and I think that was Industrial Light Magic, ILM's first, like one of their first major special effects type movies where they're starting to use new types of special effects, not like claymation or models. They were using more computer-oriented stuff. And I mean, you can tell the difference. But again, another awesome movie. Alex Rogan. I'll always remember that name. I like the part when he had his, what do you call that? The robot that shook his hand and took his DNA and then became him. Yeah. And it was trying to distract those Zandalzans. Remember the Zandalzans? Foul stench, those Zandalzan. They come to kill you, Alex Rogan. What? They come to kill me? You guys got to watch the movie to understand what I'm saying here. But if you have, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you'll also know that I was torn for years because they never made the Last Starfighter Part 2. And I always thought they'd always come up with a Last Starfighter Part 2, and they never did. And, well, that was sad for me as a child. It's like, come on, man. You came out with Jaws 2. You can't come out with Last Starfighter Part 2. Anyway, at that time, too, science fiction and like comedy was also a new thing coming in. They had Inner Space. That was a good movie. Inner Space with Dennis Quaid and Martin Short. That movie's about a scientist who shrinks himself down to like a organism, the size of a cell. Maybe I think like a blood cell. And he gets injected into Martin Short. Dennis Quaid is the scientist. And he gets injected into Martin Short's butt by accident. So he ends up communicating with Martin Short in his body. And I mean, it's a fun movie. Yeah, another great movie. Musicals. Musicals was, to me, the funnest, and it just stuck with me because I love musicals. Grease 1 and 2. You know what I'm saying? If you sing like the bowling scene, or you sing the Grease scene at the end when they graduate, you know the songs, you know the scene. Yeah, it's magical. It took you through high school. It took you through a little shop where a plant needed to eat people, called Little Shop of Horrors. Remember that movie, Quinn? Little Shop of Horrors?
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, you know that one, right?
Seymour.
Yeah, feed me, Seymour. Feed me. Yeah, that's a good one, man. And then it started off with him dripping his blood in the mouth. Remember, his own blood? But he wanted more. So he goes and kills that Steve Martin, the Steve Martin character. He was the dentist. Remember? He's a dentist that rode his motorbike.
Everybody would always go and be screaming in his office, yeah.
Yeah.
I would always be scared of the dentist.
The dentist. Because of that? Because of him? Because of Steve Martin? But how's that one with Bill Murray? When Bill Murray goes in there and he likes pain, like it kind of arouses him.
Right.
And then Steve Martin's
yeah.
like, I think I won't put Novocaine for this job. And he starts pulling out his teeth and he's like, oh yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Bill Murray, right?
Bill Murray, he was crazy, man. Bill Murray in that zombie movie where...
I'm just going to say Adventureland. Or
Zombieland. Was it Adventure?
No,
Zombieland, right?
Adventureland.
Was that the one with Woody Harrelson?
We gotta.
Woody Harrelson and Emma Stone, I believe, was in that movie. And yeah, they end up killing him.
I don't shoot it. It's Zombieland right here.
Oh yeah, Zombieland. Yeah, his Woody Harrelson's addiction to Twinkies, and all the Hostess trucks that he ends up coming across is all full of those coconut snowballs. Snowballs. Oh man.
So classic.
Yeah, classic. Another good musical that they came out with back then was with Robin Williams. Do you know what movie that is? And I'm not talking about Hook. Do you know? Quinn? Flubber. No, that was a good movie though. But I don't think that was a musical.
Oh, a musical.
Yeah, a musical. He came out with in the 80s. Robin Williams. If anybody of you know the answer out there, please just shout it out. Oh, yep, you got it. You got it. Popeye. That's a good movie. If you've ever seen Popeye starring Robin Williams, that's another one where, like The Last Starfighter, as a child, as a kid, I was bummed that they never had a part 2. So, Popeye, I was talking about drive-ins, and I was just watching this video the other night with my daughters, and we end up coming across Sweetness. Remember that movie? Sweetness? Roll Bounce? Fire! Yep. Roll Bounce. That's another thing we don't have besides drive-in theaters, guys, is roller skate rings. I'm talking about Bow Wow, that movie with Bow Wow, Roll Bounce.
Oh, a combo roller skate ring. Bowling alley.
Oh, dude, skate ring with a bowling alley.
Some millionaires gotta jump on that.
Oh man, we gotta bring that back. Maui needs one of those. I think Kona has a bowling alley. Oahu has crazy stuff, so we can't even compete with that. But for Maui, we have nothing. We don't even have a zoo here, people. We used to.
We don't need a
We used
zoo.
to. That used to
Screw
have
the
like
zoo.
our zoo used to have like 2 monkeys and a donkey. That was our zoo. Yeah, we need skate rings, guys. I think we should start maybe trying to get a skating ring here. What do you think? We should petition for one. There's one thing that we did petition for, and it came true. Skate park. We have a skate park in Pukalani now.
Yeah, go check it out.
Go check it out, everyone. Pukalani
open.
Skate Park is open. You know, it's always been my dream since I was in high school to have skate parks all over Maui. And now that I'm an old fart that suffer from sciatic nerve damage and and a bad knee, and now they're popping up with all these skate parks. I'm happy for you guys out there, all you millennials, all you kids, all you newborns. I'm happy for you. And you're welcome. Because it took me and all my buddies, and maybe I think we gathered about 10,000 signatures for those skate parks. Though this is back in the days. This is back in the days, and now it's all coming true. So, and you know, I have several friends that are still involved in those organizations, like the skate organizations, getting these skate parks going and popping up in Lahaina, Kahului, and now Pukalani. Props to you guys. Thank you. Thank you for sticking with it for the past 30 years, because now it's coming true. And so the moral of that, guys, is if you stick with it and persevere, then good things will happen. Like how we are with this podcast. Yeah, Quinn? We're trying to stick with it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure. And with that, guys, we are at the end of our time.
Back on Wednesday.
We'll be back on Wednesday. I hope you enjoyed this little entertainment movie adventure and musical. Yeah? I know a lot of the stuff I was mentioning, Quinn he has no clue.
We're gonna go watch Popeye now.
Yeah, he wants to go watch Popeye now.
Actually, I want to watch The Last Starfighter.
Yeah, that's a
Watch
good
that.
one, man. Hey, you guys, enjoy your evening and enjoy our other podcasts as well. We have episodes 1 through 12. And like and subscribe. Go to any social media, Twitter, Facebook, iTunes, and YouTube. We are on all those. Until then, mahalo and aloha. Shoots, Ladat.